all those moments will be lost in time.
Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So apologies if this video is of different quality, but my main camera is having some issues, so I'm using the camera I used to vlog. Hopefully it's okay, fingers crossed. Today's video topic, I don't mean to scare you, but is genuinely very dark to me, and it might be just because of my own sensibilities, but I figured I would give you a warning. This topic is dark. I'm not going to show any graphic images or any graphic video. There's a lot of violence that's going to be mentioned. It just makes me feel really uncomfortable, so I figure I would let you guys know how uncomfortable it makes me feel in case it's too much for you. So it's going to be about McKamey Manor, which is a haunted house experience, to put it lightly. People can sign up essentially to be tortured. It just makes me feel a level of horror, mainly because they also have a YouTube channel where they put like 2-hour long, if not more, video footage of these people going through their torture. So we're going to talk about it. I'm not going to show you any video or anything like that. If you want to look that up, you do it, but I'm telling you, it's not a good idea, and this comes from someone who has seen some terrible shit. Like that, those videos still trouble me. There's a chance of death. Extreme Haunted Tour employee explains their terrifying 40-page waiver. And we'll get to the waiver, I just kind of want to give you a rundown so everything is contextualized. A haunted tour experience that spans 2 states and lasts up to 10 hours requires its participants to clear a background check, pass a doctor's physical and mental exams, and sign a 40-page waiver. Enter if you dare. The McKamey Manor experience, which stretches from Summertown, Tennessee to Huntsville, Alabama, also requires quote-unquote contestants, as the operators dub them, to be at least 21 or 18 with parental permission, insured, and pass a drug test. Owner Russ McKamey offers $20,000 to anyone who completes the tour, but says no one ever has. He records each physically demanding and psychologically disturbing tour on video for his own protection, he told WFLA-TV, and then posts them online, showing the participants quitting in humiliation. So I'm just gonna stop here and let you know that I think Russ McKamey is actually a psychopath. And you guys know I don't throw around terms like that, but I'm gonna see if I can find footage of just him being crazy, not anything of actually troubling, but just him.
Speaking of where the negativity started in the past, a few of the Manor contestants made some serious claims as to what you were really doing on the tour, or your crew members. Sure. Some claims that you lied to them as what would happen to them. They were physically beaten into submission.
Oh man, I love that one.
Yeah, that's the best one. Sexually assaulted, tortured by waterboarding and other means. Some even hijack your social media, flooding your page with these claims. Can you at this point clear the air with these negative claims against you and McKamey Manor? Is McKamey Manor torturing people to the extent of what is being said? Is this what you refer to as the LIC, low information crowd, comes from?
Well, let's start off with and we'll get to all that, but everybody who's made all these crazy claims, you got to put your little thinking cap on for all the viewers out there, all you guys out there watching now. You got to think, if these things were really going on to the extent that you've heard, wouldn't I be in jail? Wouldn't I be prosecuted? Wouldn't I have lawsuits against me? The answer would be yes. So clearly there's something else going on that is not quite what it seems. Otherwise, I would be in jail because torture is illegal.
Exactly.
When you go through the real show, it will change you for better or for worse. And I'm hoping it's for better because I want this to be a positive, fun experience. We never want anything to come out to where you're injured mentally or physically. And that's why I'm so particular about who actually takes the tour. I mean, no other haunt in the world makes you get a letter from your doctor, a letter from a psychologist. We do a background check on you. We're going to have you do these pre-interviews. You're going to sign a 40-page waiver. In the waiver, everybody knows exactly what they're getting into once they sign the waiver. And there's a copy of it online. It's old. It's several years old, and it's much more in detail than that waiver is. But you're going to know, and there's no way you can come back and say, you know, Russ, I didn't know that you were going to pull my tooth out. Well, yeah, you did. You signed right here that we can pull your tooth out without Novocaine. I didn't say that. Well, yeah, you did. So there's some crazy things that can happen. I'm not going to lie to you. But the people that go in know that going in, and they're a different kind of a breed. I mean, they're not like you or me. I wouldn't want to go into this thing. It's crazy. I'll build it, and I've tried all the stunts, but is it for me? It's not for me.
Yeah.
But there's those adrenaline junkies out there that can't get scared over anything else, so they come to McKamey Manor. And we scare them, and we change them.
He has a very disgusting kind of enjoyment of torturing people, and he was in the Navy for 20 plus years, I believe, and apart from that, not much is known about him. And he was on an episode of Dark Tourist, which I strongly suggest you watch because I think it's a more tame way of finding out about this rather than watching the footage of actual, I can't really say victims because they signed consent, but the participants, let's just say participants. It still is troubling, but I definitely would suggest watching it if you want to know more about this. But really, I do think someone who enjoys traumatizing people, because this isn't just a haunted house you walk through. They find out about your phobias and use them against you. I've seen them make people eat raw meat. I've seen people be essentially waterboarded, though he says they're not. People have been thrown into coffins if they're claustrophobic, like really things that are extremely emotionally taxing. And if you do decide to watch the footage, you see people that have noses that look broken, their eyes have like blood in them. Like, it's not just walking through a house and people are like, boo. And you'll see, because when I read the waiver, you get a lot of people who think it's going to be easy. Chris Smith, a 37-year-old Michigan native who works as a volunteer remotely for McKamey's tours, told USA Today. Smith was first introduced to the operation years ago as a contestant. During his first go-around, he didn't make it past signing the waiver, which details all the physically painful, high-stakes, and grotesque things that could happen along the way. I read it and quit, Smith said. I got to the last page and turned around and went home. There's so much. You have to pull out your own teeth. There's a chance of getting a tattoo, a chance of your fingernails getting pulled out. It's really overwhelming. There's a chance of death. Accidents happen. Smith later returned and tried 2 more times before becoming an official member of McKamey's team. Once tapped out after getting buried alive in a wooden coffin, and then again during a round of hypnosis that gave him a complete panic attack. So if the tooth pulling out and nail thing aren't troubling enough to you, let's look at the waiver, shall we? Now, I don't have the entire 40 pages. I don't really think I'd want to see that, to be entirely honest. Participant fully understands and agrees a nail may pierce their hand. Participant fully understands and agrees that their hand may be smashed with tools. Participant fully understands and agrees that choking may occur and that gagging or vomiting may occur. Participant fully understands and agrees that they have a plastic bag or plastic wrap on their face, which could possibly cause suffocation, blackouts, etc., and participant will not hold McKamey Manor responsible or liable. Okay, so as much as the people who participate actually sign this and give their consent, so I do feel like part of their responsibility is theirs here because you choose to do this, what I focus on more here is not really the participant, because that's their own choice. I'm not going to judge them. That's their own choice. Whatever, do you. What I'm judging is the person who would want to do this as a job. Like, it's one thing to work in a haunted house and jump out and say boo to people, have them have a little scare and whatever, okay? That's one thing. But this is a different level. Like, I could not bring myself to nail someone's hand, even if they paid me to. So it's just like, I wonder in what kind of headspace you have to be to feel okay about damaging people and causing them anxiety. That's what's strange to me. Like, even if you're paid, I don't know how you get past the threshold of, this is another human, I'm traumatizing them. They might have repercussions that last the rest of their lives if they even get out alive. I just can't understand how someone does that. Let's look at another one, since this wasn't troubling enough. Participant fully understands and agrees they may come in contact with carbon monoxide poisoning with regard to use of artificial fog. Participant fully understands and agrees that once participant enters McKamey Manor, there's no quitting unless serious or physical or psychological injury is present. That in and of itself scares the shit out of me, because that's essentially quite subjective, because how can someone that's not you tell if there's a psychological injury? A physical one, sure, but even then, does a cut count as a physical injury? Like, what counts as a physical injury considering you consent to have a nail stuck into you? It's also very much, it seems, about loopholes in what the owner considers injury. Participant fully understands that injuries may occur during the tour of McKamey Manor, which include but not limited to head and neck and brain injuries, death, stroke, traumatic brain injury, brain aneurysm, cerebral or retinal hemorrhage, subdural hematoma, loss of consciousness, whiplash, harmful heart reactions, nausea, headache, dizziness, lacerations, broken or sprained bones, torn ligaments, bleeding wounds, scrapes and or cuts, heat stroke, or drowning, and does not hold McKamey Manor responsible. So you literally could just drown. And I also have to wonder, as much as I said I don't want to judge the participants, because, like, you know, I believe in exposure therapy, but exposure therapy has to be done in a healthy and safe way, a way that your psychologist tells you is something that will be productive, because exposure therapy is not productive for everyone. I don't think this is exposure therapy. I think this is like torture, essentially. But I also wonder how someone can sign this and be okay with it. Now, when I went skydiving, I have to admit, I did sign a waiver that said I wouldn't sue them if I died, but I feel like that's a little bit different because I didn't say, yeah, you can torture me. So I think it's a little bit different. I do understand having to face the possibility that, yeah, you're gonna die, but I think it's a little bit different in the context of one is an adrenaline rush and people usually don't die. At maximum they break their legs. Here though, I can't understand what kind of headspace you have to be in to do this. I feel bad mostly for people who choose to do this. Like I said again, the person that I'm really scared of is the owner here. Like, to me this sounds like something a killer would do. Participants fully understand and agrees that being scared, having a panic attack, etc. does not count as serious injury. See? So that's what I'm saying. What counts as serious injury is so subjective that I feel like he'll push people way past where they should have stopped. And that's also what scares me, because I feel like people will get PTSD from this. Participant fully understands and agrees that their tour may include the use of hypodermic needles, zappers, tasers, or dog shock collars. Participant fully understands and agrees that various fluids such as food coloring grease, theatrical blood, or other liquids may be placed in participant's mouth. It is the participant's responsibility not to swallow these fluids. I feel like gagging after reading that. I feel like I usually have quite a strong stomach, but this makes me want to gag, and I think it's because of the idea. It's the concept that troubles me. Like, aside from the obvious of people getting injured, which is obviously in and of itself troubling, the thing that fucks me up is that they're going to use what scares you against you. I'm pretty sure in the episode of Dark Tourist that I saw, they kind of ask you about yourself so then they can tailor the experience to you to use things that scare the shit out of you. So for example, one of my fears is for someone to chop my Achilles heels and make me walk, because I saw it in a Hostel movie and I was like, that's terrible. So that's one of my fears. And I honestly would be scared to let them know that, because I'm not saying they'd do it, but they would probably play with that idea. Or if you're scared of losing your teeth, like I have dreams of losing all my teeth, they'd probably make you pull out one of your own teeth. So as much as I think some of the idea, I think he's a psychopath, so I don't think the full idea is for people to get past their fears. I think that was initially maybe the idea, I don't know, but it genuinely scares me how much enjoyment the owner gets from this, to the point where he uploads things to YouTube as if it's just this theatrical show, when in reality these are people who signed up. This is not a reality TV show. This is like someone's real experience going through that, and he's just enjoying seeing these people have this kind of psychological and physical trauma, and it just doesn't seem like that would happen in reality. And I know that if I tried calling my mom now and telling her, hey, blah, blah, she'd be like, stop bullshitting me. Because it just sounds so beyond what anyone should or would do that you wonder, what is the owner thinking and what are the participants thinking? Because essentially, it could be a death wish. They say you could die. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Who do you think are the people signing up for this, and why do you think they sign up? Do you think they're doing it to get past a fear? Do you think that it's a kind of self-torture? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and let's get right into the fan art.